Assalamualaikum everyone. I'm Ms. Bajai Wala. I'm 14 years old. I'm a student at Transport for the Server Batcham. Today's my interview with Maya on air. Let's start our interview.
Hey, what's new?
How are you? Maya, how are you?
Hey there. Sounds like that was what?
Okay. So, what is air made of?
Air is about 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and small amounts of other gases like argon, carbon dioxide, and trace gases.
Okay. So, why is air important for human life?
I'm not sure I caught that clearly. Oh, right, human life. Got it. Air is essential because our bodies need oxygen to function. We breathe it in, and it fuels all the processes that keep us alive. Everything from thinking to moving to just staying warm. Basically, oxygen from the air is what turns the food we eat into usable energy for our bodies.
Okay. So, how do plants use air to grow? Answer briefly.
I think you're asking about what. Okay, I'm listening.
How do plants use air to grow? Answer briefly.
Plants basically do the opposite of us. They take in carbon dioxide from the air and use sunlight to turn it into food, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. That process is called photosynthesis. So air isn't just important for humans breathing, but also for plants making their own food and growing.
Okay, so can we see air with our eyes?
Does that make sense, or do you want to dive into the details of? See what?
How does air help birds fly?
That's a good question. Birds use air currents in their wings to create lift. The shape of their wings pushes air downwards, and that creates an upward force that lifts them into the air. They also rely on air pressure differences to stay afloat. Warm air rises and cool air sinks. So it's all about how birds interact with air currents to overcome gravity.
Okay, okay. So what happens when
Pretty
air
interesting,
becomes
huh? Was
polluted?
that what you were getting at with seeing? When air gets polluted, it means there's too much harmful stuff mixed in, like chemicals from cars, factories, or even smoke. Breathing that air can cause respiratory problems, heart issues, and can affect kids, especially since they're still developing. Pollution can also mess with the environment, acid rain, damage to plants, and climate change issues. Basically, it throws off the balance and makes everything less healthy. Like God to ding the I didn't quite catch that. Could you repeat the question about feeling air and when the white blows? I'm not sure what the second part means.
Okay. Why do we feel air when the wind blows?
Oh, you mean wind. So when wind blows, like when there's a breeze, you feel it because the moving air is hitting your skin. Your skin has tiny nerves that sense changes in air pressure and temperature, so you can feel the moving air on your face or body. Stronger winds obviously feel stronger because there's more air pressure against.
So how does air
Makes sense?
fire?
Not sure what you meant there. Air fire button. Could you clarify that one?
Yes. What is fresh air and why does
I'm
it help?
still not following. Fresh air basically means air that hasn't been polluted. It's cleaner and has the right balance of oxygen and other gases. It's healthier because it doesn't contain all those harmful pollutants that can make you sick or damage your body. When you breathe clean air, your lungs get to work properly and your body gets the oxygen it needs to function at its best.
Okay.
What sparked that question? Just curious about good air quality or something else.
So how does air move around the earth?
Run out, like take your time, no rush. Are you asking how air moves around the earth? Like how winds happen? That's mostly due to differences in temperature and air pressure. Warm air rises, creating low pressure, and cooler air moves in to replace it. Earth's rotation also affects how air moves. That's called the Coriolis effect. So basically, it's a mix of temperature differences, air pressure, and the planet spinning that keeps the air circulating globally.
What gases are found in air?
You mean all this information?
Yes.
The main ones are nitrogen, around 78%, and oxygen, about 21%. Then there are small amounts of argon, carbon dioxide, neon, helium, and other gases too. They're all mixed together, but nitrogen and oxygen make up most of what's in the air around us.
Okay. So why do we need clean air to breathe?
Basically, clean air has enough oxygen without all the nasty stuff mixed in. When you breathe polluted air, that harmful stuff can hurt your lungs and other organs. Clean oxygen lets your body work properly, gives you energy, and helps you stay healthy long term. Pollutants mess with those processes.
Okay. So how does air fill a balloon?
Fillable. I'm not sure I caught that last part clearly. Could you say that again?
Yes. How does air fill a balloon? Balloon.
I'm really having trouble understanding what you're saying there. Could, could you maybe try breaking it down or rewording it? I heard something about air and balloon,
Yes.
but
How does
it's
air
all coming through a
fill
bit
a balloon?
unclear. Balloons. So air fills a balloon because you're putting more air inside, or the pump creates pressure, pushing air molecules into the balloon. The rubber stretches to accommodate it until the pressure inside equals the pressure outside. It stops expanding. It's like squeezing stuff into a container. Eventually, there's no room left. Without air, there's no oxygen for us to breathe. Things that need sun's harmful radiation and temperatures would swing wildly. It'd be a very harsh, uninhabitable environment pretty quickly.
Okay. So how
It's
does air
pretty
help?
heavy stuff, huh?
How does air help airplanes fly?
Airplanes fly because of something called lift. The shape of their wings forces air to move faster over the top of the wing and slower underneath. Faster moving air creates lower pressure boards. That's lift. Also, propellers or jet engines blast air backward, which pushes the airplane forward. That's thrust. So it's all about manipulating the air around the plane.
Okay. So how does air create weather?
Making sense? Maybe goes are being literal. Weather is basically air in motion, right? Differences in temperature and pressure create wind, and the water cycle is all about moisture in the air. Warm air rises, forming clouds and rain. High pressure systems bring clear skies, low pressure brings storms. The way all these things mix together, temperature changes, moisture levels, wind patterns, is what create the weather we experience. It's kind of a complex system, but air is at the heart of it all.
Okay.
You've asked so many good questions about air today. It's kind of a simple thing, but super important in so many ways.
Okay. So why is air important for animals?
Like us, animals need oxygen from the air to breathe and stay alive. It fuels their bodies, helps them move, think, and grow. Even animals in water need oxygen from dissolved air in the water. Without air, animal life as we know it wouldn't exist.
Okay. So why what is air pressure? How does hot air rise up?
Air pressure is basically the weight of all that air above you pushing down. Hot air rises because it becomes less dense than cool air. Same amount of air molecules, but more spread out. Since hot air is lighter, it's buoyant, so it floats on top of the denser cool air. It's like a hot air balloon. That's exactly how it works.
Okay. So
Does that explanation click?
yes. Why does cold air move down? Ans- Answer briefly.
Cold air moves. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you say it again? I think I
Answer
missed some of it.
briefly.
Cold air is denser, heavier, so gravity pulls it down.
Okay.
That's the quick version.
How does air carry smells? Answer briefly.
Air carries smells.
Don't answer me.
Air carries. Okay, I'll wait for you to tell me what you're thinking about.
How does air carry smells?
Smell molecules get carried by moving air, like wind or even just gentle air currents. And that's how we smell things from distances away.
Okay. So how does air help kites fly?
The Wind pushes against the kite's surface, creating lift and keeping it in the air. The wind actually has to be moving for a kite to fly. Without the air pressure from the wind, it'd just fall to the ground.
Okay, so why do we need fresh air?
The shape of the kite helps. I think you're asking why we need fresh air. It's cleaner than polluted air, so it doesn't hurt your lungs when you breathe it in. It's got the right mix of gases so your body can work how it should. Clean oxygen, not all the harmful stuff that makes you sick.
Okay, so how does air help sound travel?
Sound travels through air in waves, vibrations that move through the air molecules. When something makes a sound, it causes those molecules to vibrate and bump into other molecules, which pass the vibration along. That's why we can hear things through the air. The sound is literally traveling to our ears through the air.
Okay, so what happens to air during a storm?
I'm not following what you're saying about the restaurant. Maybe there was some audio distortion there. Can you clarify what you were asking?
Yes, I'm asking that what happens to air during
I'm
a
still not
storm?
catching it. During a storm, air pressure drops rapidly and winds pick up. That's what creates the whole stormy system. Warm, moist air rises quickly, creating thunderstorms and heavy rain. In hurricanes or tornadoes, air spins and rushes in towards the center, creating incredibly strong winds and changing air pressure patterns. So basically, a storm is just a massive disruption in normal air movement and pressure.
Okay, so how do trees help clean the air?
I'm hearing something about trees cleaning something. Could you finish that thought? No worries. Take your time. Trees clean the air by taking in carbon dioxide and releasing oxygen during photosynthesis. That's their way of helping keep air fresh.
Okay, so why is air lighter than water?
Yeah, air is much lighter than water. Water is much more dense because its molecules are packed much closer together. This is why things float on water but sink in air. Make sense?
Yes. How does air fill our lungs? Fill
Cool.
our lungs?
Your lungs fill with air because of a pressure difference. When you breathe in, the muscles between your ribs and your diaphragm move to increase the space in your chest. This makes the pressure inside your lungs lower than the air outside, so air rushes in to fill it. Then when you breathe out, it's the opposite. Your chest gets smaller and pushes the air back out.
Okay, so what is moving air called?
That's wind.
Okay, so how does air help us help separate seeds?
I'm a bit unsure about that last part. Help separate seeds. Can you clarify what you mean by that? Were you talking about
Yes,
seed dispersal?
yes.
Oh, right. The air helps spread seeds through wind dispersal. Some seeds have wings or fluffy bits that catch the wind and carry them away from the parent plant. Others are so light that they get blown around easily. That way, the seeds can spread out and grow in new places. It's like air is carrying tiny packages of plants to new homes.
Okay. So why does air move from high pressure to low pressure?
Air naturally flows from areas of high pressure to areas of low pressure because that's how nature tries to balance things out. Like if you open a bottle of soda, the air inside is under higher pressure than outside, so it rushes out to equalize everything. Same thing happens in the atmosphere. Air moves to even out pressure differences.
Okay. So what is humid air?
Uh, I'm not sure I caught what you said. Did you mean what's in the air here?
Humid. How does air help in flying balloons?
Oh, balloons. Hot air balloons float because heated air rises, hotter air is less dense than cooler air. The heat makes the air inside the balloon lighter, and that buoyant force lifts it up into the air. Regular balloons filled with air or helium float because the gas inside them is lighter than the surrounding air.
Okay. Why does air feel
That's how
fresh
balloons
after
work.
rain?
After it rains, the air feels fresh because the rain washes away a lot of, also cools down the air. And cooler air usually feels more invigorating. So it's a combination of cleaner air, cooler temperatures, and sometimes even the natural oils plants release after rainfall, creating that fresh smell.
Okay. So how does air help plants make food?
Mm. Plants use carbon dioxide from the air. It's one of the main side plus water and sunlight and turn it into glucose, which is their food source. That process also releases oxygen back dioxide from the air to create food and survive.
Okay. So what is dry air?
Dry air means air that doesn't have much humor. Your skin feel dry too. It's just air with less moisture floating around in it. Got it?
How does yes? How does air move clouds in the sky?
Wind does the moving of clouds. They're not floating around independently. They're actually part of the air moving in the atmosphere. Wind currents push the clouds across the sky, changing their shape and direction. Different wind patterns at different altitudes can create different cloud formations and movements too.
Okay. So how does air help cool our body?
These sweat evaporates off your skin, right? That evaporation takes heat away from your body, which cools you down. Air helps that evaporation happen faster, especially moving air like a breeze. So, breeze or air helps you cool off by moving away sweat evaporation.
Okay. So this is meant to be. I hope you will like it. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.
That was a great tutorial. You covered a lot about air, the science behind it all. Thanks for sharing that with